In 1992, Reedy did the unthinkable. He kicked our buddy while he was right in the middle of taking a leak. It turned a fun day at McDonald's for the McJordan special into a complete disaster. I'm Bill Roseberry. After 2 decades in community journalism, I've seen a lot. But this is a wild story of how a Mustang ride and too much orange soda led to a very messy situation, and one I never saw coming. Welcome to Bill Roseberry Stories, where we serve up Gen X nostalgia with a side of original fact and fiction. As I turned the corner onto Reedy's Lane, I revved the engine and listened to my baby purr. I loved this car. There weren't many Alton High School juniors who could rival my ride, a 1982 Bright Canyon Red Mustang GT with a 5.0-liter V8. The thing had plenty of pep and looked sleek as hell, with its black hood scoop and the louvers in the back window. Most importantly, it made me look a lot cooler than I actually was. I eased into Reedy's driveway and briefly caressed the dash as I put it in park. Even though my dad had committed the cardinal sin of swapping the manual transmission for an automatic, I still felt like a king. "What are you going to do? Make out with your car, dude? Come on," Reedy said disgustedly from the passenger seat. Reedy, our friend Jace, and I had spent the Saturday afternoon cruising and hitting McDonald's for the legendary McJordan special. The promotional burger honoring the Chicago Bulls superstar was a quarter pounder with bacon, pickles, onions, mustard, and barbecue sauce. For 3 teenage boys from Southern Illinois, anything involving MJ was high stakes. To prove my point, I would sport my black and red Chicago Bulls starter windbreaker, the official uniform of mid-90s cool, whenever the weather called for it. "Man, that burger was the bomb," Reedy said, rubbing his belly. "Now MJ even makes the best burger in the game." Reedy whipped a Marlboro Red from his pocket, flicked his lighter, and took a long, meditative drag. He followed it with a massive swig of orange soda. A full belly, a fresh smoke, and a sugary drink. Reedy had everything necessary for his contentment. As Jace climbed out of the back seat, he started fidgeting. I watched him do a little hop step on the gravel. It was obvious he'd overindulged in the free refills at the McDonald's fountain machine. He was paying the price for a pint of orange soda. "Man, I have to take a leak so bad," Jace groaned. "Just go in the yard by the side of the house," Reedy directed, pointing toward a line of trees bordering an open field. The field sat between Reedy's place and the old abandoned Fosterburg Elementary School. The school had been shuttered before we even hit kindergarten. Now it was just a hollowed-out brick shell that served as a target for local vandals, including us on occasion. Jace didn't care about the scenery. He waddled frantically toward the tree line, fumbling with his belt and zipper before he even reached his destination. Reedy and I stood under the garage awning, maybe 20 feet away. Reedy set his soda and cigarette atop the trash can on the corner of the house and shot me a look. It wasn't just a smile. It was a jagged, devilish grin that meant nothing good. "Watch this, dude," he whispered, snickering. "What the hell are you up to now?" I asked, my voice rising in a mix of curiosity and dread. He didn't answer. He just started a slow, quiet trot across the yard. Reedy didn't run often, but for a guy his size, he was deceptively nimble. He stayed low, tracking Jace like a predator. Jace was oblivious. He was in mid-urination, eyes probably closed in sweet relief, finally letting go of the gallon of McDonald's orange. Suddenly, Reedy accelerated. Like a heat-seeking missile with a bead on a target, he picked up terrifying speed. Just as he reached a defenseless Jace, he limberly lifted his lead leg and delivered a perfect, full-force front kick directly to Jace's backside. The physics were horrific. Jace went airborne, flying forward and stumbling blindly into the grass. As any man knows, once the internal plumbing is open, there is no emergency shutoff valve, especially when you've been blindsided by a 300-pound linebacker. Jace hit the ground rolling, screaming and cursing as an unholy arc of urine went everywhere. It was on his pants, his shoes, his shirt, his bare arms, even wetting his mullet. I'm pretty sure a fine mist even caught him in the face. I watched in stunned silence. What a dick move, I thought. But as the visceral sound of Jace grunting and swearing hit my ears, the dam broke. I started to howl. Reedy was already folded in half, his hands on his hips, wheezing for air because he was laughing so hard. Watching him struggle to breathe only made me more hysterical. Dude, you're such an asshole, I yelled between fits of laughter, wiping tears from my eyes. Reedy pointed a shaking finger at Jace, who was finally rising to his knees. His flow finally halted. Dude, you peed all over yourself. Jace was livid. His cheeks were flushed and his eyes were watering from a cocktail of embarrassment and pure rage. You prick! What is wrong with you? Jace screamed, wiping dirt and fluids off his clothes as he stood up, shaking his hands in disgust. I'm completely covered in piss! I glanced at Reedy, who was still cackling uncontrollably, then looked back at my beloved Mustang. Two thoughts quickly raced into my brain. My first thought was, I'm glad I didn't have to pee. And more importantly, how mad is Reedy going to be when he finds out he's driving Jace home? Because there's no way he's climbing into my Mustang soaked in pee. Reedy's size and strength were legendary. But his timing was occasionally, well, questionable. Luckily, he didn't do this often. I know I didn't pee outside in front of him after this. This kind of unpredictable, anything can happen friendship is exactly what I poured into my upcoming novel, A Matter of Life and Death. It's a coming-of-age thriller, but it's anchored in these real childhood moments Reedy and I shared in the Midwest. Hit that link to join the waitlist. Leave a comment about your own Boys Will Be Boys moments. Like and join the community. And I'll see you next week for more original content right here at Bill Roseberry Stories.